Scorpio, there's a huge difference between being alone because you choose to be and being alone because you've built walls so high no one can reach you anymore. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've spent years protecting yourself, shielding yourself, carefully choosing who can get close and how far they can go. You've learned to be emotionally self-sufficient because trust hurts so much when people disappoint you. You've become an expert at reading people, at spotting falsehoods from miles away, but you've also closed the doors to any real possibility of true intimacy. But something is changing. You've been feeling it, even if you can't quite put your finger on it. A different kind of restlessness, not that familiar anguish you know so well. It's something softer, stranger, almost like hope. But you're so afraid of feeling hope that you try to stifle it before it can grow. Because you already know what happens when you wait. People disappoint you, situations fall apart, and you're left alone, picking up the pieces again. So you chose to stop waiting, stop wanting, stop believing that someone could truly understand you in the depths where you live. What I'm about to reveal to you now will shake everything you've built like a fortress around your heart. There's someone coming into your life. Or maybe they've already arrived, and you're resisting with all your might to acknowledge what they represent. Someone who won't be intimidated by your tests, your barriers, that way you have of pushing people away when they start to get too close. This person will see the real you, and that terrifies you more than anything in the world. You spend so much time looking inside other people, unraveling their secrets, their hidden motivations, their social masks. You're so good at it that you've forgotten what it's like to be looked at in the same way, with the same intensity, the same depth. But this new person has a special gift. They see you, not the version you present to the world, not the strong, impenetrable persona. They see your wounds, your fears, that frightened child you hide so well beneath all that controlled intensity. And the scariest thing? She doesn't run away. She doesn't get scared. She doesn't try to fix or change you. She simply stays, as if recognizing something in you that even you had forgotten existed. As if your darkness doesn't scare her because she has her own shadows and isn't afraid to inhabit deep places. The impactful change this person brings isn't about chaotically turning your life upside down. It's about turning you inside out, so you can no longer pretend you're okay, being closed off and isolated. It's about being forced to look at yourself through the eyes of someone who sees you with a compassion you've never had for yourself. It's about having to choose between continuing to protect yourself or finally allowing yourself to be truly known. Scorpios spend years accumulating layers of protection. Each betrayal adds a layer. Each disappointment builds another wall. Each time you opened yourself up and got hurt, you promised yourself it would never happen again. And you kept those promises with impressive discipline. You transformed your heart into a fortress, your body into a temple few are allowed to enter, your life into a controlled territory where you dictate all the rules. But there's a price to all this security. You've been feeling numb, half dead inside. The things that used to move you no longer touch you the same way. The passions that once consumed you now seem distant, as if you're watching your own life through thick glass. You've achieved what you wanted. You're no longer easily hurt, but you also don't allow yourself to feel much of anything deeply. The person arriving will break that numbness, not on purpose, not strategically, but simply by existing in your orbit, by bringing an intensity that matches your own, by having an emotional depth that resonates with that part of you you've buried alive because it was too painful to continue feeling everything so intensely. On first dates, or first interactions, if you already know this person, you'll try to do what you always do. Test, analyze, look for flaws, find reasons to walk away before getting too involved. You'll look for signs of insincerity, inconsistencies in behavior, proof that this person is like all the others who've disappointed you, because this is familiar, this is what you know how to do. What you don't know how to do is allow yourself to believe that someone genuine has finally crossed your path. But here's what's different this time. Your tests won't work. Not because this person is perfect or because they always pass all your impossible criteria, but because they're not trying to impress you or win you over the way others have. They're simply being themselves, with an authenticity so pure it disarms your entire defense mechanism, and it will deeply confuse you. You'll find yourself thinking about her at random moments. You'll revisit conversations you've had, searching for hidden meanings and finding nothing but disconcerting sincerity. You'll feel vulnerable in a way you haven't felt in years, and it will make you want to run, pull away, cut off contact before you get too attached. Scorpio, I know you're feeling something stirring inside you as you listen to me. Maybe you already know who this person is. Maybe you're denying with all your might what you're starting to feel. Maybe you're scared because you swore to yourself you'd never allow yourself to be this vulnerable again. And I completely understand that fear. I understand why you spent so much time rebuilding yourself after the last time you opened your heart and were crushed. I understand why it's easier to stay in control, in the safety of isolation, than to risk being destroyed again. But what if I told you that continuing to protect yourself this way isn't safety, it's imprisonment? What if the fear of getting hurt again is keeping you from experiencing the most transformative connection you could ever experience? Leave a comment now saying, I'm ready to let down the walls and let true love in. Writing this isn't weakness, it's courage. It's recognizing that you're tired of living half-heartedly, of feeling half-heartedly, of existing in this state of constant protection that keeps you safe, but also keeps you dead inside. And when you put this into words, you're giving yourself permission to finally live fully, to take risks, to be seen and loved exactly as you are. The change this person brings isn't instantaneous or easy. They'll challenge you in ways you didn't expect. They'll question your worldview, your assumptions about how people are, your beliefs about relationships and intimacy. And you'll resist, because Scorpio always resists anything that threatens their control structure. You'll create conflict situations to see if she stays or leaves. You'll push her emotional limits to test how much she can handle. You'll show her your darkest sides, your most difficult parts, secretly hoping she'll get scared and leave so you can confirm what you've always known, that you're too much, too intense, too complicated for anyone to truly stay with. But she will surprise you, not because she will passively tolerate everything or because she has no limits of her own, but because she will look at all that intensity, all that complexity, all that darkness you use as a shield, and she will choose to stay anyway. She will see you at your worst and won't run. She will know you at your scariest depths and won't abandon you. And this will break something fundamental within you. That narrative you've been telling yourself for years, that you're unworthy of true love, that it's better to be alone because no one can handle who you really are, will begin to crack. And when such long-held narratives begin to crumble, everything in your life shifts. The person arriving is not your savior. They won't rescue or fix you. This isn't a story of someone needing to be saved. It's a story of mutual recognition, of two intense, profound souls who have already gone through their own individual transformations and now find themselves ready for something greater than either could achieve alone. She will challenge you to grow in ways you didn't even know you needed. She will mirror behaviors you need to change. She will show you where you're still stuck in old protective patterns that no longer serve you. And because she does this from a place of genuine love, not judgment, you'll be able to hear these truths without completely shutting yourself down. With her, you'll learn that vulnerability isn't weakness, that opening up doesn't mean losing your power, that being seen in your depths by someone who loves you exactly as you are, with your shadows, your fears, your unhealed wounds, is the most liberating experience a Scorpio can have. The impactful change this person brings will manifest in every area of your life. You'll notice yourself smiling more easily. That constant tension in your shoulders will begin to relax. You'll allow yourself to dream again, to plan futures that include another person without feeling like you're losing your independence or identity. Your other relationships will also transform. Friends and family will notice that you're different. more relaxed, more present, less defensive all the time. Some may be confused by this change, especially those who grew accustomed to the closed-off, impenetrable version of you. But those who truly love you will celebrate seeing you finally allow yourself to be happy. Professionally, this emotional openness will unlock pent-up creativity. When you're not spending all your energy keeping walls around your heart, you'll have much more energy left to create, to innovate, to manifest the dreams you'd put aside. Your natural passion, which had been dulled by self-isolation, will burn brightly again. But I'll be honest with you, this transformation will scare you often. There will be moments when you'll want to return to the safety of isolation, where you'll want to destroy everything before the other person has a chance to hurt you, where your mind will create catastrophic scenarios about everything that could go wrong. In these moments, remember, your fear isn't premonition, it's trauma. It's not intuition warning you of real danger. It's your past trying to keep you trapped in patterns that no longer serve your present. The person coming into your life isn't the person who hurt you before. This story doesn't have to have the same ending as the old ones. One of the most powerful things that will happen is that you will learn to trust again, not blindly, not naively, but consciously choosing to believe in someone even knowing the risks, choosing to open up even knowing you might get hurt. Because you will finally understand that the risk is worth the reward, that the depth of connection you've longed for is only possible when you lower your barriers. This person will show you parts of yourself you'd forgotten existed. That ability to laugh without burden, to be silly without judging yourself, to express affection without calculating whether you're giving too much. They'll remind you that you're not just intensity and depth, you're also joy, lightness, and playfulness when you allow yourself to be free. And perhaps most transformative, you'll learn that you can be completely honest about your feelings without losing your power. That saying, "I care about you," or "you're important to me," doesn't make you weak or dependent. That true love between two strong people isn't about losing individuality, but about choosing to share lives while maintaining individual integrity. Impactful change isn't about becoming someone else. It's about finally allowing yourself to be fully yourself, unedited, unprotected, unmasked. It's discovering that you can be loved not despite your intensity, but because of it, that your depths aren't flaws to be hidden, but gifts to be shared with someone who can inhabit them with you. Over the next few months, you'll go through layers of transformation. First, resistance, where you'll do everything you can to maintain a safe distance. Then, testing, where you'll challenge this person in every way imaginable. Then, gradual surrender, where you'll begin to lower your barriers, slowly, carefully. And finally, integration, where you'll realize that opening up didn't destroy you, but liberated you. There will be conversations that last until dawn, where you'll explore emotional territories you've never shared with anyone. Moments of comfortable silence, where you'll realize you don't need to fill every second with words because her presence is enough. Moments of pure vulnerability, where you'll cry and not feel weak for it. And there will be challenges, of course. No deep connection is easy. You'll have conflicts that will force you to examine your own toxic patterns. You'll have to learn to fight healthily, something you've never really learned because you've always preferred to withdraw or shut down completely. You'll have to navigate the balance between intimacy and independence, a delicate matter for someone who has always seen these things as mutually exclusive. But the difference is that this time you won't run away at the first sign of trouble. Because something inside you will know that this person, this connection, is worth fighting for. It's worth doing the hard work of growing, of confronting yourself, of dismantling old patterns that no longer serve you. Scorpio, your capacity for transformation is legendary. You rise from the ashes more often than any other sign. But this time, transformation doesn't come from destruction and solitary reconstruction. It comes from connection, from allowing someone to witness your process, from not having to go through it all alone again. The person arriving won't complete you because you're not incomplete, but they will expand your reality, showing you that you can have deep intimacy without losing your autonomy, that you can trust without being naive, that you can love intensely without losing yourself in the other person, that you can be vulnerable without being weak. And when you look back months or years from now, you'll realize that this person didn't fundamentally change you. They just gave you enough security to finally take off the armor and show who you've always been underneath. They didn't transform you into someone new. They allowed you to finally be yourself completely. The impactful change that's coming will hurt at times, because real growth always hurts. It will scare you often, because letting go of old protections is terrifying. It will confuse you when you realize you can be happy and still maintain your depth, your intensity, your Scorpio essence, but it will be worth every uncomfortable moment. Because on the other side of all this fear, there's a version of you you've always wanted to be, but were too afraid to try. Someone who is deeply loved and who loves deeply in return. Someone who no longer has to choose between safety and connection. Someone who finally understands that you can have both. The person is arriving, or maybe they've already arrived, and you're just beginning to recognize what they represent. Either way, the change has already begun. You're already being transformed just by considering the possibility of letting down your defenses, trusting again, allowing someone to see you completely. Don't fight it. Don't try to control every aspect like you always do. Sometimes the best things in life are the ones that surprise us, that escape our control, that transform us in ways we could never have planned. If this message resonated deeply with you, if you recognize this person, or if you felt this change approaching, share it in the comments. No need to give details, just acknowledge that you're ready for this transformation. Your courage can inspire other Scorpios to allow themselves to be transformed as well. Subscribe to the channel, because this transformation doesn't happen overnight. You'll need reminders that you're on the right path, encouragement when fear tries to make you backtrack, and guidance on how to navigate this new way of relating that's so different from anything you've known before. The person is coming, Scorpio. The life you always wanted but were afraid to have is becoming possible. All you need to do is have the courage not to sabotage yourself when things get too good, not to destroy yourself when love becomes too real, to finally allow yourself to have what you always deserved.